All right, guys, welcome back to Surviving Hollywood. I'm Johnny Ray Diaz.
I am Aaron Arnold.
I am Austin Arnold.
And today we are graced by the wonderful, multi-talented Fiona Rene, actress, producer, teacher of the arts, dare I say.
And friend.
She's on a hit TV show, Stumptown.
Yeah, you guys might have seen it, maybe. I know Fiona actually because we worked together on one of the first films I've ever done called Sinister Squad, not to be confused with Suicide Squad. Which movie was better? What do you think?
Never saw Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad sucked, so I haven't seen your movie, but I assume it's better.
Anyway, she was one of the, by far, most talented people I met on set there. And still, I can say to this day, even though she's here, which is awkward, she's one of the best actresses I know in town.
Wow,
Hands down.
I got to see this film.
I can say it. So anyway, she's here, and we talked.
Yo.
Hey, oh, there you are. I didn't even know she was.
I'm right here.
Hey, she's right here. Anyway, we talked about a lot of stuff today, and one of them was working on Stumptown, obviously, and also this new immersive teaching thing you've been doing for a long time. So
Here's the thing. She is more than just an actress. She is a teacher and thought leader. I don't know, but we talked to her about all sorts of stuff. Would you describe yourself as a thought leader? Because you have all
Sure.
these ideas on.
She'll leave it up to others to describe it.
Yeah, describe me however you want.
Yeah, but the conversation gets real. You're gonna wanna listen to this.
We dig in, we go deep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
okay.
So give us a call. Give our viewers a call to action, and we'll roll right
We
in.
didn't get much into it, but okay.
All right. I just want to say my favorite part, stay
There we
tuned
go.
for this,
sorry.
There we go.
is we talk about being a sex addict. And hey, I was intrigued. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I feel like we should talk about that more.
Well-
Next episode.
nice.
Another episode, of course. I was actually interested in all of it because I think a lot of stuff you talked about too is daily habits, routine, the importance of having a focus on something. And I think that we can all easily be distracted by so many things in this world. So I was kind of fascinated in trying to discover what you're doing exactly that's separating you from everybody else. Because that's what I was curious about.
And clearly
You
there are some
mean-
separations.
You mean connecting me to everybody else.
Oh, buddy. Lesson 1.
Mind blow, and your mind will be blown when you listen to this episode. So make sure you guys stay tuned in. Yeah,
Give us that call to action. We're ready for that, and we'll roll right in.
call to action.
Oh, yo. What's up, guys? My name is Fiona Rene, and you guys, you're ready to be yourself? Is that good enough?
Ooh,
Oh, shit.
that was
You
a
wanna do another
call
one?
to action
Well,
for
it's not
sure.
Call to
Is that-
something.
It's good.
What's a call to action? Like they have to do an actual action.
No, enjoy. You're about to watch a great episode.
When you send an
Enjoy.
email, I'm sure at the end, if you want somebody to do something, you put like a call to action at the end,
Oh,
something
yeah.
proactive.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Make sure you do the self to. I love you. I love you. I love you. Make sure you do the same to yourself.
Roll it.
So what's going on? How you been?
I'm
I feel
great.
like I haven't seen you in a while.
This is the beginning.
Has it been like I haven't seen you since last year?
Sinister
Yeah.
Squad, is that what you guys work
Oh
on?
my God.
Is that how you-
Dude,
Let's
yes,
not even,
but
let's
when
not
we-
even talk about that one. I'm just kidding. I'm
I-
kidding.
We were at that premiere
Where are you?
with
You weren't even at that premiere.
I wasn't.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I might not have been. I don't know.
I think you were at the premiere.
Yeah, I dressed up.
Yeah, it was in downtown. Downtown Independent?
Yes, and I wore a fluffy little pantsuit.
There you go. Oh, so you do remember.
I do remember now because I had to sign the poster. Pictures help you remember things, right?
true.
Like you see the photo and you're like, oh yeah, that memory. Otherwise, you would have totally forgotten.
Do you guys remember her from the movie?
Well, Austin and I showed up late.
Yeah,
that
we
day.
came to the after party, or just
Like,
in the
hanging
lobby.
Out, we were hanging out with everybody like on the roof.
So you
after.
didn't see the movie?
We saw
We
it
saw
later.
We saw. Like,
Oh.
You know who Jake and Amir are? Like comedians. We saw them first.
Oh.
And then we came over and supported Johnny.
Aw.
After they didn't see the movie, though. They never even
But,
saw it.
but you guys
it is.
eventually saw it.
Yeah, it's online illegally.
But you never saw it.
I've seen. I've seen.
You saw enough of it.
You know, I saw Zombies, another asylum movie.
Uh-huh,
You came in
yep.
with that one.
So I kind
I
of
remember that
I kind of
film.
like.
Okay.
Did you see that movie?
No,
All right.
that was Scotty's film.
Scotty, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Scotty Mullen. I like Scotty. He's a good guy.
Well, it was weird. I don't know how your movie went, but when we went to see Zombies, the other asylum film, they didn't show like a DVD or whatever. They just like broadcast like the,
was a live stream.
TV channel. So there was commercials while I was watching
What?
the movie.
It was really weird.
Oh yeah, because that's how they get their money. It's through advertisement. That's how Sharknado is on.
Right, but it was
I mean,
weird
it was
because
like
we were watching it in a
TV
movie
show.
theater, and there was commercials playing in between. They were like, "Should we get snacks? Should we go get to the bathroom right now?"
And just like all commercials, they're like louder than the movie, but like with the surround sound in that movie theater, it's like you couldn't even talk like in the commercials. It was hell.
Okay.
But the movie was great, Scotty.
All right. Anyway, shout out to that.
This is fantastic.
So you guys don't remember that she was the witch,
I assume.
I was a monster.
monster
I had
witch?
big teeth. You know, can I just say real quick? I don't know if we've even started yet, but like I just kind of want to let you know.
We've already started.
Oh, good. Just to keep you guys posted, I've never been on a dating app, and I recently someone showed me Facebook dating, and so I just was interested in looking at it. So I opened it and I uploaded my only photo of myself as a Caraboss from
Nice.
that movie from Sinister Squad.
Any hits?
She's a sexual.
Yeah, people are loving it. It's kind of weird. I had to delete it.
Okay.
She is a sexy single in your area.
It was
There
crazy.
is. And she doesn't even. Well, you do talk. Never mind. You do talk in the movie.
Yeah, I
forgot.
do a more snarling than talking and more screaming.
Did you do any responding on the dating app as the character?
No, I should have. That would have been
should've.
great. Oh, that
Wait,
would
so
have
this
been
was
great.
this was a joke account you made?
Yeah, I just wanted to know what Facebook dating was, and in order to explore it, you have to make one.
I don't think that's like the one you should try, though. I mean,
That's what other people told me the same thing. I think maybe that's why I deleted it.
Facebook is for our parents. So
But
Well, I like older dudes. Go on.
There you go.
which dating site would you recommend?
Yeah.
I mean, just any other one, like not Plenty of Fish, not Match.com,
Tinder or
not those.
Bumble.
Yeah, like the apps. Got to get the apps.
No, okay, Cupid.
Not that I don't like dating apps.
Unless you
but
want
I'm
40-year-old
just-
to 60-year-old guys.
I don't.
That's what you like.
Maybe.
42 might be a good one.
I don't like dating apps, but I know Facebook dating ain't the way to go. You know.
Okay, fair.
Whoa, dude. It's new.
I don't mean to be negative. Facebook.
There's a good algorithm that matches based on likes.
Yeah.
This is great.
Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, well, here we got Caraboss here. That's great. So actually, I have a quick question about that movie itself. When you were working on that movie, did you enjoy your experience? Forget the people,
Why do you say that?
just the experience.
Forget the people.
Right.
The people make the experience. What are you talking
There's
about?
other aspects of it though. I'm talking about the actual shooting of
Clue
it.
the audience in. Why are you asking?
I'm just curious.
I mean, I don't know if this is a trick question, but I think
No, I'm
growth
just
is
wondering.
growth is growth is growth is growth. So, like in regards to that,
Is that plagiarized from Lin Manuel?
no, did he say that too?
that was from Hamilton.
Love is love is love.
So I think that film in general, I learned so much about camaraderie. That's why the people weren't so important. But without the lesson of camaraderie, there was just, I mean, I got to play a monster. So anytime you get to play a monster, you get to explore a side of you that normally is deemed to be bad. So people are like, don't explore that bad side. Don't do all the heroin. Don't beat up that girl. Right. But in this kind of role that we get to play, we
You
get
got to do heroin.
I had to line up real quick.
But Jeremy was like, "Whoa, dude, we need you on set. Hold on, I got to do this real quick."
Sinister Squad?
Oh yeah. So like it was just an interesting. You asked me the question on like was that process, because it was a difficult process. It was a low budget, no budget film. It was before SAG came along. It was like you'll just do anything.
Right.
And so like yeah, just throw a trash bag down. Yeah, move the light. Okay, let's do it. Shoot it next.
So you weren't SAG when you did that? What put you over the SAG?
Probably Get It Girl.
Nice.
Hey,
Oh, let's talk about that.
Get it, girl.
Get It Girl. I did 4 seasons of Get It Girl, and it was so good.
Like
was-
Get It Girl, I've never seen it, but Austin described it to me. It's basically, hey, if you guys like The View, you're gonna love Get It Girl, because Get It Girl has what kind of twist on The View? It's like younger and more hip.
Right. And like I don't know when this is going to come out, but I'm not on Get It Girl anymore. So
Monday.
like it's a little bit of a different show, but it's it was amazing. The process of that entire that was 3 years of my life. We did 4 seasons.
You created it, or you were hired
No,
as
I
talent?
was hired as a host on it, but then it became a very collaborative. But we had Vivi Tomasi. She was the main producer. She worked for LATV, and she was the main host of the show. And she had 3 other girls in the first season. And after that, they were like, God, this is really about the camaraderie of it all, how we all come together and really like accept each other, show our different views. We have to be different or people won't watch, right? If we're all the same, this is boring.
Right.
But if we are different in a room all the time, there's going to be arguments, there's going to be personality clash, culture clash, all that stuff. So
Like, what would you guys get into? Like,
Well, we talked about
the
politics.
daily
we
topics.
Kaepernick.
Yeah.
You guys were like,
there were-
he should stand. That's what you said.
They're like, get him on his knees. No.
Have him take his clothes off.
Hey, that's the debate.
There we go.
So we talked about, makeup and clothes. Yeah. But we also talked about politics. We talked about emotional, sexual, mental, physical health and abuse. We talked about addiction. We talked about relationships, like all the things that people actually care about. But we had 3 different perspectives. The first season was 4 girls, and Vivi, the main girl, kind of nicked those 3 girls in the first season. Excuse me.
They weren't performing.
Well,
With
Didn't
the,
have a
with the
personality.
audience.
Tell us why. What do you think?
I don't know. I never watched the first season.
Just a bunch of yes men, yes women.
They're like, yeah.
I think a lot of it had to do with not what the audience liked or how the show was being received, but more so how enjoyable and fun it was for the people to work on set together. So if the girls came in and they had attitude and all they cared about
I
was
see.
looking good and the show being good, they didn't care about the person next to them that they have to share a couch with. So we cared about that. Anna Marte, me, and Vivi Tomasi did 4 seasons, 2nd through 5th or whatever. And it was amazing. We did like 70 episodes, and it was low budget, and it was, people grinding to try and work together. But we had a budget, and we got paid, and that was enough.
Right.
So why'd you leave?
So new opportunities. 100%. Like I got cast in a whole bunch of other kind of video
A
games.
bigger
and-
payday. You're like, guys, you need to give me a raise, and they said, I'm sorry.
And
this is the raise.
I went to them and I said, "Hey Vivi, hey LATV, I really want to be a part of this show because I love having a platform where we can discuss really important issues and I can give my 2 cents." Right? Everyone wants that. Everyone wants a group of people they can talk about what's important with. Right? But at the same time, yeah, my time is valuable, and if I'm getting pulled elsewhere to do other things that I love, and they are willing to pay me my SAG rate, and they're willing to, and it's a big process to become a SAG signatory. I mean, not that big, but
I mean, a couple papers. Right?
yeah, a couple of people, a couple signatures and some,
Yeah.
boxes to tick. But
And then you're somebody.
well, then you have the ability to appreciate the value of your employees on a different level.
And they just didn't want to do that, or what?
Yeah, it was too much work.
The show didn't want to do it
Well,
itself.
the network had to do it. It's a
I
full
see.
network, television broadcast. TV is a totally different ballgame.
Would it
than
have changed
streaming.
your pay? Or would it have gone up? Or
Actually,
would
my
it stay
pay
the
wouldn't
same?
have changed that much. My pay would have increased by like $150.
So it's more just a paperwork thing.
And everybody else on the show, every single sound guy, every single whatever, now they are on a union show.
Right.
And so they have to be paid more.
I see.
And so it bumps the whole production cost and quality up.
I get
And it wasn't worth it to them.
Right.
And it wasn't worth it to me to go against my union for that.
Right.
There are times where the question is like, oh man, do I go FICOR because this project means more to me than what my union offers? That's a question that's personal for everybody. This particularly was not that.
And you just didn't think it was.
No, not for me.
Did you ever think about working off the card?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like,
of course.
What happens if the union were to discover you worked that job? What would really happen?
There's a couple of different things that can happen. They can fine you. They can kick you out of the union. They can have a strong, stern talk with you. It's like your parents. You
You can
disappoint
lose
your
your
parents. What are they going to
screeners.
do? They're going to ground you, or they can kick you out.
I'd prefer the strong, stern talk.
I prefer losing the screeners. that's the most important part of the union.
Yeah, can't
And
find those
so,
on
yeah,
Netflix.
I think it's really just dependent on the personal situation because I know a lot of people that have gone FICOR and I support them completely.
Do you think there's still a stigma with that though?
There's a stigma with everything.
All right, well,
There's
stigma
not
being
one
SAG.
thing on the planet that every single person's like, yep, that's great, no stigma. Even abstinence, there's a stigma. Like, come on.
What's wrong with that?
Well, there's something wrong with everything.
I think there's nothing wrong with it at all.
Abstinence?
Apparently, you're
Hey.
bringing it up now.
I don't know why do we
Guys.
have the ability to come if we
I'm abstinent by choice,
That's true.
Oh.
just not my choice.
Quick question though on the hosting.
Yes.
Did you? Because this happens a lot with a lot of other shows. Did they ever want you guys?
you guys. Sorry.
Hey, there you are, you guys.
Hey.
Did they ever want you guys to have an opposite opinion, even though you didn't actually agree with
Always,
it?
all the time.
Now, was it like, okay, today I'm getting the negative, today you're getting the pot? Like, what? How did you guys
All the time
decide?
there. Well, we usually would have, Vivi would send out talking points at the beginning of the week, and we would have a couple of things that we would have to go do our research on. And the reason why the 3 of us work so well is that 9 times out of 10, we all had different opinions, very specifically. That's the whole point. When there were times where we had the same opinion, that we weren't forced to find a different opinion. But if there was an opportunity for us to find another opinion and it was natural, great.
Because that
You know.
helps you out too, because you need to fill the the talking time.
Yeah, and it's funny. I feel like the more what is this podcast called? Surviving Hollywood.
Yeah, well, it's good that you know.
I'm more welcome to. So
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't do an intro. I want to do an intro.
We'll do that later.
We usually do it when the guest leaves and, and talk about.
We'll let you say it.
Yeah.
When we get to
Anywho.
She
When we
wants
get
to
to
hear
the
the theme
end.
song, though.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to
she's
hear
not
that.
going to hear that at all.
We'll
until
play that
Monday.
at the end.
Thank you.
Play that at the
All
end.
right, we could.
There we go.
So I think there are moments where, I don't want to feel like I'm just surviving. I want to, even though I may just be surviving, I want to feel like I'm thriving, like I'm flourishing, like I'm abundant, right? This is a mindset that I want to wake up with every day. So it was really nice. And the more I feel like I have survived or become more successful or whatever that means, I feel like it was less about trying to fill time or that all happens in the moment and you work together and you do it. All of the intent that I had going into those sessions were, what am I excited about? What do I really feel? And how do I accept someone else's perspective? That was all that really went into it.
Did the producers ever try and censor you?
Yeah, we were television broadcast, so there were definitely things that we could not say, and I have an issue with that at times.
But I'm not swearing, but
Not beep.
adult content, topics
Themes.
in general. Could you is there certain topics or opinions you couldn't cover?
To be honest, Luca, who no longer is at LATV, right when Get It Girl did not get signed on for the same talent for season 6, coincidentally, about 10 people left LATV, including Vivi Tomasi, and the whole company is now maintained by different people. So to answer your question, Luca was great. Luca let us go one direction with Trump because we live in LA. It's a scary place to talk about.
They love Trump no.
Everywhere
No,
else?
they hate.
Everyone
They hate Trump.
Yeah, everyone hates
I mean,
Trump.
I'm a big fan. So
But there
why are you
are.
laughing?
Half of America is actually.
Yeah, a lot of my family are.
It's totally fine.
And here,
Choice.
He's a strong leader.
they do. That's a harsh topic to talk about in liberal LA. Whenever you might be a Trump supporter, it's scary.
Because you say one neutral or positive thing about him, even
And
though
now you are evil.
You get crucified.
Yes. And so luckily, Luca, who was our main COO, I guess, he didn't really censor us. I would accidentally say a whole bunch of stuff and they needed to cut it out later. They can cut it out later. But
Right. They're like, Fiona, we're going to cut out the stuff about the abortion.
no, yeah. That was the beauty of the show, is that we talked about political issues that were very deep, like abortion, like death penalty, like pharmaceuticals.
It sounds like it got pretty heavy sometimes.
It was heavy, bro,
Whoa.
and I loved it.
Get It Girl was pretty heavy. I mean, that's okay.
I loved it.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, for the topics though, I feel like most of them were probably on the lighter side, right? What would maintain the
We
audience?
also talked about like makeup, and we like dressed. We did a whole bunch of funny gag things. I had to eat a whole bunch of noodles covered in crickets and talk about the first time I kissed someone.
right.
It's fun. But you're right. What did you compare it to? The
Abortion?
Not The View. There's a younger one, The Real Talk.
Oh, yeah.
The Real or
Is
whatever.
that younger?
Isn't that what
It is
about
different.
red table talk?
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg looks like she's the same age, but she's actually
Much
up there in
older.
age on The View.
I heard she's doing Sister Act 5.
I hope so.
I would love that.
I actually like
too.
Whoopi as an actress.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Facts.
Yeah, we all do.
Facts.
So
Well, it's good to know. So as of
So-
recently, you've been doing Stumptown. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank
I think you're
you.
up to like 14, 15 episodes.
Oh my gosh, stop. More
Feels-
like,
No?
no. First season, we just got extended from 13 episodes to 18.
Whoa.
and you're like a
I'm
main
a-
character.
You're recurring.
I'm a recurring co-star, and in the Hollywood terms, like I moved out here not knowing what is
All
the
the terms.
linear hierarchy of the acting world, because you're not supposed to think about it that way. You're supposed to go in, and if you're tree number 4 or if you're the lead, you're supposed to do the same work, right? You are.
You are supposed to do the same work.
I'm not asking a question. I'm making a statement. Okay. You are. And so, yes, as you see yourself grow or fall on the ladder of actor hierarchy, you just have to continue reminding yourself that that's a whole bunch of 3D human crap that we put on top of it. And the work doesn't come there.
But you know what? For the folks at home, what is the difference between co-star, recurring co-star, guest star, recurring guest star?
Maybe they don't know.
Where your name shows up in the title card. So whether your name shows up top of show in the beginning, or whether your name shows up at the end credit. Okay, this is all for TV. Film is different. You don't have like the same kind of recurring co-star in a film, but for television, what I'm seeing is you've got co-star and guest star, recurring co-star, recurring guest star. Then you have your series regulars. Then you start moving up.
So I'm interested in you taking us through the audition process, the callback, and then once they offered you the job, did you and your agent like negotiate anything differently, or like take us through all that?
And it's so interesting because my scenario doesn't seem like other friends who I have who are series regulars on multiple shows. They don't have the same story, right? It's always Madonna was in the elevator, right? Everyone's a bit different. I did the ABC showcase, right? And again, even getting into a showcase like that, a lot of people auditioned and there are 1 out of a million persons that auditioned. I randomly have a love for immersive media. I think that experience and interactivity is the only way people learn. And so if entertainment is going to do what it does, it should also stretch out and teach us things.
Like 4D Disney theme park movies. You're like, oh.
No, more so like immersive interactive theater, virtual reality, augmented reality.
Mocap, things like that.
Things that provide the audience to experience the story in a different way. Star Wars does it. You can go to the void, so people that love Star Wars can now be in the world. And I'm really interested in that. So alongside my acting, my whole life, I've always been an actor, always wanted to be an actor. But I realized that acting is just loving every single role that you're in. So whenever I wasn't playing a role, what was I doing? I was playing the role of me, right? So I wanted to learn how to garden. I wanted to learn how to ski. I wanted to whatever. So I really got into immersive haunted houses, and I started going into, intimate immersive theater. When I started doing that, after 12 years, I started teaching it. And so alongside my acting career, I was just teaching something that I loved. Didn't bring me a lot of money, but I really enjoyed it. And it was a nice side job, and it was better than waiting tables. It was something I was passionate about, right? I would teach children about it. Moving on. So,
but specifically immersive theater.
Yeah, so I teach transmedia acting, which is basically a new genre of a new word, this thing called transmedia. It basically means a story that can be implemented into at least 3 different mediums, i.e. radio, TV, film, live, whatever. These are all mediums. And when you go to like NIFA, New York Film Academy, they are now creating a new department called Transmedia.
Just for that.
Exactly. So I didn't realize it at the time, but I was creating a curriculum for actors to be able to consistently get paid. And you can't just consistently get paid in one medium. You have to stretch yourself across mediums as an actor. That's what I've learned.
So without going into like a whole full-blown detail about it, what's the difference of like you acting in something that's, how you call it, transmedia? Is that what you call it? As opposed to, let's say you're on a TV show. What's the difference?
Well, a TV show can be transmedia. That's the thing.
What about that movie, that Netflix Duplass Brothers movie from years ago called Tangerine? Is that an example of transmedia?
Okay. Good. Yeah. I wasn't the Duplass Brothers, but
well,
hey.
it's funny that you mentioned that,
Duplass.
because what is the word trans? The word transition. What is this?
Yeah.
What does this word mean? Where does it stem from, Latin-wise? And when we look at we're now creating a language. I get very passionate about this, you guys. We're now creating a language that's part of this society. A new generational shift is we're creating a language, a still thing, a noun, one thing for movement, something that is changing, something that is moving, transition, trans woman, right? Whatever.
Or man.
Or man. So when we look at transmedia, it's about the story, and the story moves, doesn't change. It can, but it doesn't have to, and it moves through different platforms, i.e. mediums. So as an actor, if you're playing the same character in a voiceover audio play versus playing that same character in a motion capture versus playing that same character on TV, what is the differences for the actor? And the key is there shouldn't be much difference. There's some technical difference that you just learn when you're there. It's not actually stuff that you have to prepare for, but being able to stay still in what you know is the character and not let the medium change affect you, that's the key. So to go back to your initial question on moving to TV and how that's different, it's really not that different. It's me doing the same questions, the same work that I did when I was doing theater for community.
So but then my question is, and as far as teaching it, then what are you teaching that's different? Like, let's say you're teaching, and it's almost like you're taking an
like the
acting
same
class,
thing.
right?
So
if it doesn't really change between mediums, then
So what happens is the external changes. You meet a celebrity. When you meet a celebrity, can you keep the same cool and the same blank that you can have whenever you go into a kid's,
absolutely,
right? You should be able to,
Just kidding.
absolutely.
On the outside,
Just
I can.
kidding.
But a lot of people can't. Well, on the inside,
You're shitting
if you
your pants.
can't, you're not acting. Because what you're doing is you're changing the inside.
I felt I've kept my same composure when I met you, so
Okay, that's a start. That's a start.
Aw, I'm blushing. So the reason why I brought all this up is that Stumptown came about because really a lot of the ABC Showcase, which I got from teaching a class. ABC Showcase people, they contacted Technicolor, who I was working with at the time in an artist in residency for my classes. They said, do you know someone that can teach kind of acting for the future, acting for VR, acting for blank? So I taught this class, coincidentally met the people from ABC Showcase, told them that I was an actor, had a meeting with them, auditioned, did the showcase, and then after the showcase, continued to consistently just apply the same techniques that I've been applying overall. And I didn't audition for Stumptown the way I thought I would. I thought I would go in like I have before, call back number 2, screen test, down to 4, down to 2, producers waiting. That's usually kind of the step-by-step process. And it's like a 9-step process, and it's long and arduous.
Wait, this is for Stumptown, or this is just?
This is for in
She's
general.
in general.
generally how it goes. But for Stumptown,
But for Stumptown, I did the ABC Showcase. Right after Showcase, we got a whole bunch of pilot auditions, right? I auditioned for one of the characters in the Stumptown pilot, who's played by Cameron Manheim. She's old school. She's been around for a hot minute, and she knows what she's doing, right? The original casting read 55 African American.
for you,
Yeah,
for your role.
for that role.
I can see it.
for lieutenant, for that lieutenant
breaking
role.
barriers.
So I go in, I'm never going to be that. And I know that. I'm
Wait.
not going in going to try to be that. Like,
Wait,
no,
are
that
you-
will go wrong.
Was that your 55-year-old
Yes.
black impression?
You're not black.
Yeah, I got it.
I thought Fiona was.
I'm a little bit. You guys might not know that. But at least I have some.
I would've guessed
I feel
Asian.
so deceived.
Thank you.
I'm so deceived.
So therefore, after that one audition, they brought me in to read for detective, and I literally booked it right away. It was a co-star
In the
role.
room.
Or
Not
like the
in the
next day, or
Yeah.
They
your,
told
your
you.
agent called you the next day saying, "Hey,
You
booked it."
You booked this co-star where you literally go hand Michael Ealy some folders, and you got 2 lines.
Okay, so how did?
Right? It's
More-
like people book co-stars all the time. They
Right.
hand over 2 lines. They never see the show again.
Right.
Right? But it just
They kept you around.
Yeah, they just
kept
grew
writing
me.
you in.
Because you knew how to talk to the celebrities.
No. No.
Well, that's one small piece.
I think the piece is that
So,
there's a whole bunch that you can't control, right? It has nothing to do with me in the moment. It has to do with all of the things that I've done up until this moment and all the things those people were needing up until this moment. You have so little control. But for my particular scenario, I went in, they gave me this is what I'll key it down to if you want me to like kind of make it basic. It's a police procedural with exposition that needs to be given. This person gave this thing, did this thing. We, just basic exposition dialogue about what's happening in the story. And then the leads also have their own deeper story happening around the criminal case, right? Well, I came in just doing some bland exposition, and I would hope that all of the ulterior, I don't think is the word.
All the
but
stuff you worked on.
all the stuff that
character stuff you worked on
all the choices
would
that I
seep
made
through.
would seep through this exposition. And if that happened in a way that made the exposition better than it already was, great. Maybe they'll keep me on. So I feel like that's what's been happening.
But there's something about being able to do all that exposition because it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, but that's what you do
You know?
point 1 as an actor, whether it's community
Right.
theater or a voiceover.
But was there a conversation from your agent where she says,
I don't have an agent, by the way.
"Oh, okay," when they called you
Manager.
and they said, or your manager, "We want this guest star. We want to turn her into a recurring
Co-star.
or co-star. We want to."
So the only conversations that we've had thus far in regards to that has been, okay, they're offering you another recurring co-star. Let's see if they'll give you a raise just like any other job. Let's see if the company will give you a raise to go into a guest star. They declined my raise and they said, no, the offer is a co-star. Well, she gonna take it. Yeah, she gonna take it. And I did 3 more episodes as a co-star.
Well,
The
depending on how many.
definition, but supposedly it's like 4 lines. Over 4 lines, you're more than a co-star. Well, I was in like 7 scenes.
That's what they always say, but
Exactly.
it's changed now.
It's not the same.
They call it a large co-star now sometimes. And you're like, oh, because I'm in 3 scenes and I have 15 lines of dialogue. It's a large co-star.
Supersize.
Yeah.
You know? So, but the thing was with that too is that, I lost my train of thought. Anyway.
Large co-stars, those bastards.
So you don't have an agent intentionally. You're like, manager, I'm good.
Well, it wasn't that way for a while. Right now, to answer your question, yes. But say 6 months to a year ago, no. I was desperately also looking for an agent on top of my manager. And it wasn't until I got declined a lot that I looked at my manager and I was like, why am I going for an agent again? Because all these things kept happening as I was getting denied. And, those denials, rejection don't hurt me none. So I think that's the big key that I've probably learned over time. And eventually we had the conversation like, Fiona, why are you so keen on giving 10% of all of your money away? Like, why?
I want more auditions,
Right?
would be the answer.
Okay, but I was getting them. I started to get them. And when I realized the movement of teaching a class at Technicolor to get me to the ABC Showcase, to get me into the room for Stumptown, to get me to a possible recurring guest star, right? And I might die in 2 episodes. Who knows?
It's a different path.
That'd be great.
Right?
Other than they won't bring you back.
Or you might
Exactly.
start dating the lead.
There you go.
On the show or
Like,
in real life?
Scripted.
Both.
Yeah, no.
Everyone's married. Everyone's married.
You told them, hey, you got nice eyes. And then from there, it was all history.
Ely, you're killing it with those eyes.
was it.
So yeah, I think that the path is different for everyone. But I also believe in manifesting and focusing on what you want.
The
and
secret.
Yeah, that shit is real.
I want it.
Oprah
it
got
will
you.
happen.
Hook, line, and sinker.
That shit is real.
No, just kidding. It's a good
Everyone
one.
has
It's
a
good.
different language for it. Some people use their religion to do the same thing. Whatever it is for you, you can call it googledygook. I don't care.
Karma. Some people call it karma.
Sure. But if you create a focus in your life, an intention of how you want to feel and how you want to live every day, and you put that together with being able to envision it, and then you actually, with what you have, start doing that, it's like happens. It's crazy. It's magic.
You got a good vision board. I've seen your vision board.
Oh,
it's intense.
So intense.
It's intense. I've seen your vision board.
Is it just career focused, that vision board, or is it everything?
From what I remember, it was all career stuff,
It
but
was
maybe
mostly,
it's changed.
It was mostly career and space.
How did you see it, Johnny?
Because I've been to your place
Yeah,
before.
we
Yeah,
hang
we're
out.
friends.
Oh, you guys are. I didn't know you were that close.
Hey, we hang out.
That's cool.
Fiona helped me also when you were doing the ABC thing. You were helping me out with that, remember?
Oh,
For the auditions. You
I don't
forgot.
remember.
You forgot.
She helped so many people. She doesn't
Anyway,
know.
I don't remember.
she's just
I'm
like,
sorry.
I don't know. I was in the weird space at the time. Probably.
But just real quick, what else do you teach
Yeah.
in your class besides? Because it's like sounds to me like not like acting stuff, more like networking stuff. And
It's interesting because I had my first focus group. It's called Method for Being, which is my curriculum. And I had my first focus group a few weeks ago. And what I determined from that focus group, which was very difficult because I just invited a whole bunch of kind of random artists.
I don't understand. So you just said, I want you guys to like.
I just need people to hear me, and so I can clarify which direction I need to go. And I didn't want what had happened, and I think people who are listening to this probably have that. If you're impassioned by anything and you're talking about it to someone who doesn't care, like you're gonna feel like crap afterwards because you got it all out. That there's this thing about communication where the other person, it's two-way street. They need to be invested to hear, right? So when I put out an email, I'm like, listen, I have this crazy curriculum thing that I'm working on, and it has to do with acting, and
Email to your past students.
I emailed it to my friends. Did I email you?
Yeah, I got one too. I couldn't go, but
It's
I
okay.
remember.
But
It
why not
was
just ask your past students? Like, hey, could you fill out this?
Most of my students are in London and in Paris.
They don't have email.
Well, they couldn't attend the class.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I did email some past students here, but it was very last minute, Wednesday night.
She wanted this
Some
not
people-
based on her past teachings, but based on this one focus
Yeah.
group.
Got you. Interesting.
And the goal is just to kind of get more focus, get more clarity, get more understanding what everyone's trying to do with
That's
everything.
That's what you're teaching.
No. So when I went in, my goal was to teach a curriculum, but I wasn't exactly sure who the audience was for because it was so broad. I could really teach it to anybody. What was this? Was it a self-help book?
You mean
what
the
is
technique was so broad, or the audience was so
the
broad?
audience was so broad.
Okay.
The technique was very specific in regards to an acting technique. Moving on, the focus group basically gave me clarity because I was like, okay, there's 3 different things I'm making here. 3 completely different things. And they all may use the same technique, but the way I express it, explain it, and share it with these different audiences are completely different. And whenever it turned into one thing, it was not understood by anyone. It was art. It was beautiful.
But can we just get like an example of like...
I still don't understand what you're teaching.
That's how she gets into the class.
One
You're like,
little-
all right, sign me up. I don't know what it is, but I'll go.
I'm teaching 3 things. I'm teaching, and this is brand new for me, so it's kind of hard and vulnerable to explain it right now because I've just discovered it on my own, so I don't really have a language for it.
It's okay.
But thank you. Here we go.
I'm going to your website and signing up right now either way. So
So there's one direction I'm going, which is transmedia acting. Okay, how do we create an authentic character that can live inside of the world no matter how the medium changes and how the world changes? The character stays authentic and true, right? Well, it's very dependent on story, relationships, and intent. So there's a process of that, and then there's a simultaneous process that not the character does, but the actor does in order to hold the character.
And how much of that is based on some names we would have heard of, like Stanislavski? Or...
Yes, of course. I mean, all of my work has stretched from Greeks all the way into acting techniques like Stanislavski, psychological techniques like Edward Byrne, other techniques like Freud, where we're looking at different parts of what makes a character, what makes human, what makes my brain tick, and what control do I have and what control do I not have. So as I was going through these processes, I started to write this book, but I didn't know who my audience was. Was it just a self-help book? Once I realized, okay, there's one I'm so sorry.
Hey,
It's okay. You don't like the
I'm
mic.
very passionate. There's one avenue towards actors in transmedia acting because their goal is not just they have a focus. They want to become better actors. That's for them. Then there's a meditation series that is for people who are really focused on self. They don't need it through the filter of acting. They need it straight from the vial, right? And then there's another area which is still very vague to me, and that's where the book will be. And it will probably incorporate the other 2 areas, but I'm writing that with my father.
Oh,
Pretty intense.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is your father in the arts?
No, he was an actor when he was younger, I found out recently. And he has a lot of books, and he's probably the smartest guy I know. And I know a lot of people.
So he's a writer, author.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will this be not a textbook, but will it have...
they're going to teach this in colleges, or is this more narrative?
I think my goal for this, I mean, I don't know how interested you guys are in this. Maybe you can cut this out.
I'm pre-ordering. We're not cutting anything.
I think the goal for me,
We
to
all
be
get free
really
copies,
honest,
right?
and this is far along the line, of course, I want to change early education. So I want to
bullshit,
In
right?
schools.
Yes, in schools.
It's bullshit.
So I want to. Well, it wasn't bullshit for another time, but the times are
Yeah,
changing.
if I wanted to work in a factory.
So
Exactly.
what kind of classes are you trying to get rid of?
I'm not trying to get rid of anything. I'm trying to implement something new. So
Montessori style.
we have but instead of private for public education, something that can be given out. I don't have to
Free.
Yeah, I don't have to own private asset in it.
This is all in the Green New Deal. Right?
But the goal is that everybody needs math and science and physics and
Do we though?
yeah, we do, but we don't understand why.
Just kidding.
We
Yep.
have no understanding on why, right? But we
to get a
use,
good job, to make money.
right?
seventh
Why?
grade.
Math
That's
is my
all-
worst subject.
I'm so sorry. That's what we are teaching, right?
Yeah.
So if we had a class that kind of implemented all of these other classes that we take during the day into one understanding and one focus on how it applies to me and my growth, I think that would be very beneficial to the learning brain for a young student. So that's what I'm focused on with my father is, eventually the curriculum that I use through acting students and self-help students, I can kind of filter and create.
It sounds a lot like what L. Ron Hubbard was trying to do with adults.
No, that sounds good.
Just kidding. Just kidding, guys.
Wait,
Just
what's wrong
kidding.
with that? I'm just kidding.
He actually sold a lot of books. So.
Yeah, he did. Look where he is now.
LOL. I regret making that joke.
Yeah.
Don't regret it.
Nope.
It was funny.
Hey,
It sounds like a huge endeavor, though. massive endeavor.
Yeah. It was very
All right.
strenuous to think about. But once I put it into step, once I had the focus group, I took one step and I was like, oh my God, this is way bigger than what I thought. And it's scary. I'll just take one more step. And so the next step is just focus on transmedia acting. But I'm a bigger picture girl. And so the vision is always in, the back of my mind lingering as long as I don't let it give me anxiety.
Right.
And instead I'm like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's great.
So, okay. So obviously you have this thing with the classes that you're doing now. You're doing the acting stuff. I know you're doing some writing and producing as well. Like you had that short Tommy gun,
Yeah,
right?
I have a,
So I guess before we jump it,
oh goodness.
what is like the ultimate goal then?
Yeah, because you've made it in all accounts. You're on a hit show. You've done all this stuff. You're good with you're doing all this stuff that interests you. What is the next step?
Are you just going to focus on the classes? Like because all of it's a lot, right?
Right.
So
I think,
sometimes if you spread yourself
you know
too
what
thin.
you want to know
you know
what
what
the
I
key
mean?
is for me so far? Is I have a very large document on my computer, which is my routine.
Okay.
And it's not finished. It's not perfect. It's not full. And it will never be because it will have to change as I grow. Mo money, mo problems, right? The more things
Tell
I
'em.
have to take responsibility for and right, take care of and maintain, like the garden on my roof. I was gardening this morning, by the way.
I used to garden. I had a garden.
It's amazing.
What do you grow?
Tomatoes.
They bring the most insects.
Jalapenos.
Only 6
Tomatoes.
marijuana plants is allowed.
I want to start growing marijuana. My family does in Oklahoma now, and I was like,
Big money.
Is it legal there?
yeah,
Big-
it just got
big money.
medical legal.
Nice.
Anyway, so what you're saying about like how do I not spread myself too thin? I remain focused and I keep a routine, and I forgive myself when I break the routine.
Okay, so what's the main focus and what is the routine? You okay?
Excuse me. Yeah, I had a little burp.
She's tearing up.
You asked her
You
the.
got a little emotional.
question.
I thought you were like, oh my God, my routine.
The main focus is the routine.
Okay, so you're just focused on the routine, but what is the routine?
Exactly.
It's like a ritual thing.
It's what
And
I,
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you
That's
guys for
the
tuning
time.
in.
what are
kidding.
the things that I do daily? My habits.
Just out of pure curiosity, that's all.
What are the things that I do weekly? My habits. What are the things that I do bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly?
Taxes.
These are every one of these patterns, right? Daily pattern, weekly pattern, they're different, but they all exist simultaneously within the whole year. And each of those patterns generate and need their own routine. And so as I've started to create those for myself and choosing those things and, becoming aware of what I'm weak on, I smoke pot and tobacco mix spliffs, right?
Yeah,
Other people may drink. Other people may. I just recently started SLAA. We don't have to talk about that, but
I'm not familiar
Slaw.
with
yeah, it's Sex and Love's Addicts Anonymous.
Really?
Not so anonymous anymore.
Why wouldn't we want to talk about that?
Well, I think a lot of artists have romantic, sexual, and emotional powers.
Well, you just started going, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I just started going.
So you're
I was
abstinent
interested.
now.
You,
That's-
you
No,
told,
no, I'm not abstinent. What are you talking
well,
about?
You told me you were doing that for a while.
Yeah.
It's been like a long going thing.
Is it working?
You tell me.
Yeah, it's
Aaron?
working great.
I think I'm okay. I think I'm doing great.
I have nothing to compare it
But
to.
yeah, just little different routines in my life and maintaining them.
So rather than focusing on outcomes, you're focusing on
routine.
routine
yes.
and habit.
Yes.
How does
Hands down.
how does somebody know if they're a sex addict?
I think it's different for everyone. That's the hard part.
Are you a sex addict? Is that,
I was.
but you're cured.
I think again it changes, right?
And you felt like you needed to have sex to fill a hole in your heart.
I didn't think that at the time. At the time, I was just having fun.
But now is
But
that?
now you think it is.
Why isn't it still fun?
I want to learn.
That's the beauty of what relationships do. Whether they're sexual, romantic, whatever emotional, they're a relationship. They take place over time. It doesn't just happen in one moment. So sex is just a portion of a relationship that I become invested in. And once I, started seeing that in a different way, seeing people and relationships in a different way, my addiction changed, but I am still very dependent on, not dependent, that's not the word. The word is habitually reliant, right? So I tend to, the minute I'm sad, want to go to a certain place. For some people, they may go towards anger.
An ex-boyfriend.
An ex-boyfriend, a hot guy that you see at the bar. I may start going to the bars just so I can find hot guys, just so I can fill the void, even though I would never go to the bar in the first place.
So why is the void there is the question.
Well, it's because I'm not filling it with what I need to be filling it with, which
What
is usually
should it be
freaking
filled?
routine.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just need to do more routines.
So as I started to do that, that's
As
what I'm saying.
gardening,
it sounds like a
gardening
work
has
then.
come in very handy.
As I started to clean my house
it
more,
has.
clean my house more, garden more,
I mean, that sounds pretty healthy, actually.
figure out, I meditate in the mornings.
Yoga? Yoga?
I do yoga, but the hard part is like
TM?
going to the gym every day.
TM,
What's TM?
transcendental meditation.
All the most
See,
successful people
these
do it.
are
That's
all
what I
like
do.
specifics, right? And what I've noticed is that as long as I meditate every day, whether it's for 5 minutes or 50 minutes, whether it's transcendental, whether it's in a park, whether it's with music guided or alone quiet, whatever it is, as long as I just do it, it doesn't matter. And what ends up happening is that when I just do it, it becomes different every day. So it's a routine, but then it stays fresh. If I try to do transcendental meditation every day, I get bored of that, then I quit meditating, and then it doesn't provide me anything at all. So what are the things that I can create a routine, and then how do I make the routine mine? And that's what Method for Being is, but it's seen in a different way for everybody. So for me to create a curriculum, I've got to create a language for different people, and it's
It sounds like not that much acting, as more of just
being.
Life-
And
life
that's what
coach.
Stumptown has been. I literally go there.
And just
Yeah.
be.
I
They're
just
like, hey,
how do
Fiona,
you-
can you do something in this scene?
Can you say a line?
I am being.
There's a script, you know. You can't just be here.
She's like, read the
just
book.
So the experience of tying your shoes, the mechanics of it all, okay? That
Bunny
experience.
ears? Did you bunny ears or the
You just got
Oh, I
demoted to
loop
the
it.
101
Loop it?
class, John.
No bunny ears for me.
All right, just
So
curious.
the experience of how you tangibly, physically do those things. You can go to a theater class, you can go to any acting class ever, right? And as long as you're nervous every time you go in, you're good. Because once you get there, all of those things, okay, my brain has to be able to be nervous while simultaneously get shit done and be confident and clear in getting shit done, right? Because confidence is everything. It's everything. When you walk into a room with confidence, everything changes about you. It all becomes authentic. So when that happens, if you can balance my nerves and my confidence into one smooth little package, it doesn't matter where you go. That's being. And if you can do it on set, my nerves is, do I remember my line? Do I push the red button at the right time? Whatever your job is.
Are they going to like me?
Exactly. And that happens in every job, right? Doesn't matter which job.
And life.
And then also your confidence of, do I know what I'm doing? Do I know how to act? Yes. Do I know how to know what the character wants and intently say that and memorize the line? And if someone tells me 6 different directions, be able to compute that and say the line again, right? I know how to do that. I've been doing that for many years. Okay, great.
So do you think it's a bad
Are you
place?
yelling at me?
Yes.
How dare you?
Right. So how do you put those two things together?
Do you think it's a bad place to be in, though, if you're like extremely comfortable and confident on set or even in class? Because you were talking about coming from a nervous place. Do you think that's a good thing? So I'm just asking you what you think. Like if I'm comfortable, I feel like I got this. This is so.
Yeah, you
like,
have to be there.
Okay, because
But-
I thought you said you wanted
I
to
have
be
to be
in
nervous.
a certain.
See, what I was
Right.
saying? How do you put those things together,
What's the
right?
challenge, right? It's the challenge.
time.
Okay.
It's time. If you let yourself be, if you don't just put it off and think about it and feel it all right before the moment, but instead you process, okay, this is what I'm nervous about. This is what I will be nervous about. Okay, this is what I'm confident about. This is what I'm feel good about and calm about. Great. I've processed all that. I'm knowing of all that. I'm confident in all of that, even my nerves. Now I'm going to go be.
I like it.
You hear me?
Sounds nice.
A little bit. Just
Okay.
a little bit.
I don't know.
No,
Heard-
I like it.
I
There's a
heard
lot to
something.
think about.
It's a
you
lot
know?
to, yeah.
This is a deep one, guys.
mine is,
I didn't think
mine's
we were going to go
blown.
here.
We should start recording sometime.
That was a good rehearsal, right?
Yeah. Well, we should turn it on.
That was,
And welcome to Surviving Hollywood.
Hey, like and comment below.
that was it. That
But as
was
far as
everything.
like, you don't think an outcome is, so if I were to ask you if you want to continue, like if you want to book another TV show, if you want to do a movie, it's not part of your process because you're
Okay.
just going to do your
No.
routine.
I'm so sorry. thinking about what you want is also part of the process. It just doesn't happen at the same time as when you're nervous or the same, right?
You need an objective to have a process.
Yeah.
But what do you want? Do you want to because you've already made it to a certain level on a hit TV show?
Every single person's TV show will end. Every film,
Not mine.
Oh shit.
Not this podcast.
Don't I know it?
they will all end. Law and Order is on 22 episodes. Eventually it will, or 22 seasons. Eventually it will end.
Not in our
Is there-
lifetime.
Eventually Mariska Haggerty will die.
Whoa.
So even if the show doesn't end until she dies, she's still going to die, right? So for me, when I think about Stumptown will eventually end. I don't want it to end for many, many seasons, but how do I, as someone who wants to be a mother, as someone who wants to be a good partner and friend, how do I consistently maintain my lifestyle when I know that's going to end? So I already think, yeah, that will end. And what I will want is I will want another role. And then I will want another role. I kind of want to explore film a bit more, right? But those things will, I just keep hitting this.
Take it out on us, not the equipment.
Those things will keep happening.
Easy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're not sitting right next to her, dude.
Hey.
Hands flying on my face.
2 buffers. Aw.
Right? Like
All right.
those things will keep happening. So in my mind, I did plan out, I have like it's called a continuum timeline. I don't know how else to
Avengers.
explain it.
Fluctuates.
But it's a timeline for all the different areas in my life and how I see them linearly growing, whether it's right or wrong, whether it makes sense with what anyone else thinks or not. And it's kind of like what I see, what I want, how I can see the progression of having a car and then flying on airplanes, having maybe a helicopter, maybe getting a jet one day. What does that look like?
So if you don't hit those goals or achieve what you want on that timeline, does
The timeline, it doesn't have like 5 years from now.
Right,
or
that's
4.
what I was
It's
gonna
just
ask
a
you.
linear,
so it's kind of more of like, well, it's just going to change a little bit.
linear pathway.
It's just going to change.
A
Okay.
vision,
Okay.
have you?
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
That's it.
And with science and modern technology changing, I mean, she could have up to 200 years to.
They
get
say
that jet.
in 20 to 30 years from now, we'll be able to live to 600.
Really?
How exciting.
Modern science.
600?
That's what they're
Yeah,
saying.
that's what they say. That's what they say.
They do say that,
I'm
right?
gonna need
they
to get
do.
these laser spots off my face. You know those red, you don't have any, you've got great skin, but I've got these little red blood vessels that recently have been popping on my face. And I'm like, I'm going to have to get this laserly removed, right?
I don't see them.
I don't see them either, but
Well, they go away. Blood
I didn't
vessels,
want to
don't
say
they?
anything when I first saw you, but just kidding. You look fine.
I would love to grow older as long as we eventually die. As long as we die eventually, yeah.
Right, but what Johnny was saying, so you're gonna live you're not gonna die of old age, but you will die of other causes. So they're estimating 600 is going to be when the average.
That's what they were
lifespan
talking
is.
about. That's what they're saying. Supposedly.
And what do you think we're going to die of?
Like being hit by a
Boredom.
car, other stuff.
Lack of money. We can't afford that new organ because only people that are wealthy that can grow a new kidney and grow a new heart. The poor people won't make
great.
it. Poor people won't make it.
Well, good. The poor people are lucky. They're the ones that actually get to finally die. 600 years? Oh my God, kill me.
I saw Green Mile. The guy at the end was very happy. Very happy. You get to see the future.
We
You get to see the
explore
future.
this in roles, you explore monsters, vampires, thinking about, this is full circle for you, thinking about how that would actually be. And is that a life that I actually want? And death is the only way that I've been able to understand relationships. Being able to,
That's how you end them.
Somebody
kill 'em.
dies.
no, but to be able to have relationships, you have to accept the death of that relationship.
Right.
Right. Gotta
And-
get that closure.
Yes. And once you apply that just in general, before you meet someone, you save yourself a lot of time.
So you tell them, hey, you know what? I really like you. This will die eventually.
And
so
I can't
we might
get
as well
that
just
close.
end it here.
And by the way, I'm a
No,
recovering sex addict. Okay.
Okay, bye, peace. I think it's more so it will end eventually, and why this means so much is because even though I know it will die, I'm still going to give it my time and my effort. It's just like life. Even though I could kill myself today, I might die tomorrow. I'm still going to get up and do this routine because that's what I want. I want it.
So
And
what
then
do
we
you
go
what do
back.
you look forward to every day?
The routine.
Yeah.
But
Checking
the
boxes.
The routine is constantly changing.
How can you ask?
Right?
What do you look
Yes.
forward to every day, Johnny?
Not much.
A vegan
That's why.
burrito.
That's why I'm asking. I'm just out of pure curiosity. What are you looking forward to every day?
It's usually new every day.
All right, that's great. That's fantastic.
Yesterday, it was building a
Lego
new
set.
desk in my room.
IKEA.
No, Amazon.
Quality.
It was actually really great. I'll send you a picture. It's super cute.
Please send us a JPEG and we'll throw it in the video.
Yesterday it was mounting my TV.
Today was the podcast.
Today was the podcast.
You just moved into an apartment? Or?
I just moved into a new little townhome.
Did you go to Studio City? Or, yeah. Okay. How's it over there?
Quiet and calm in comparison to West Hollywood.
Yeah, it's a lot different than over here. Yeah.
I mean, not that
Do you like it better?
I like my house better.
The vibe is different there.
The vibe is different.
There's definitely different energy there.
I was living on Santa Monica and San Vicente. Like, I lived behind Trunks.
Yeah, you were like right next to like
Flaming Saddles.
Yeah. You miss it.
Yeah, I do. I go to visit all the time.
Okay.
But it's nice to not live there.
You ride the bull just for old time's sake?
I should ride the bull again.
Bringing back old memories.
They go easier
I thought
on the
I'd be
chicks.
better.
No,
They
not
usually
that
go
good?
easier on the girls.
Do they?
Yeah.
Is that sexist?
Maybe.
I mean,
Or is it about time?
It's a little bit of,
Have we
little
talked
bit
about
of
everything you want to talk about?
I could talk all day.
No, we
Me
just
too.
like to carry the
Me too.
conversation and see wherever it goes.
I guess.
Go on.
I was just gonna say.
I was gonna ask a question. Go ahead.
Okay, well I'll go.
Good.
I was just gonna say, if you had to look back, how long you've been in Hollywood, acting?
I have been here for 3.5 years.
Oh,
Almost
not
4
that long.
years.
Wait, you've been here for longer, no?
Almost 4 years.
No way.
But you started acting in 2008.
When you did Sinister
No.
Squad, that was like 4 years ago, right?
3.5.
3.5.
The day she got here.
Literally,
You
the
must have- that was
2
like-
months.
must have been like the
2
first
months
role.
after I got here was
Okay.
the role I booked.
All right,
yeah.
fair enough.
That's why she accepted.
The secret, buddy. Try it.
I've seen the movie. It still holds up.
I was
Not
going to
really.
say, what advice or just piece of wisdom would you give to yourself or anybody that's fresh off the boat? Man, I wish I would have known this when I first got here.
You're going to die.
You know what's really hard about those kinds of questions?
What?
Is that piece of advice, that one piece of advice may change someone's life for the better, but it also may hurt somebody else because they're in a place in their life where they don't need that. They need to hear the opposite.
I'm just
from
talking
that.
about for you. If you could
for
talk
me, to my old self.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for
A
specifying.
young Fiona.
I
Younger
mean, it sounds
Fiona.
like you moved pretty fast here, so it sounds like you did a lot of stuff
Yeah,
right.
I think my advice would be, you can cut this. Let me think for a
I'm
second.
not going to cut anything. That's time out of my schedule.
Aaron doesn't like to edit.
He does all the editing and he hates us all for
I
it.
think my advice would be, love the people you have. You don't need anyone else. Because I grew up not knowing that I had a family. I had just my mom and my dad and a grandma and I never saw.
That's a family.
Right? But a small family, and that family was not a very emotional, supportive family. Come to find out, years later, those two people were so hurt that they left their families, and technically all of their families are mine, right? I have huge family. But in my mind, I was like, I got to do this on my own. I got to do this on my own. That idea also clashed with a codependency that I have with every best friend I've ever had. That was like, okay, in order for me to get up in the morning and feel motivated to do anything, I have to call you and I have to talk about it and you have to come over and then we can do it instead of me just doing it, right? So I was thinking opposite. If I was talking to myself now, I would say, you can do all of that stuff on your own every morning without calling anyone and love the people that you have in your life already. Show them love. Period.
I love it.
I like that.
It's really
That's
good.
good advice.
Did you ever meet up with the auxiliary members of your family?
Yeah, and I'm still doing that.
Nice.
There's a lot of them,
That's cool.
and they are all very, very different from me.
All in the
My dad's side of the family is in Oklahoma, Bethel Acres, Oklahoma.
exact address? I'm just kidding.
Coordinates are longitude. So
where were you born?
I was born in Montana, but I gypsied around my whole life.
Because your parents were what were they doing?
Military, and then my dad just kept changing jobs.
Okay.
And then my mom's family was in Taiwan. Some are still there. And then I have an aunt who lives here in California and another aunt in Tennessee who I haven't talked to.
How did you fall into the acting thing then?
It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do.
Since you were a kid?
Yeah.
Why?
Second grade.
Why? What was it? What did you see or how did you discover?
You know, it's hard. I remember this one play I was in called It's a Jungle Out There in the second grade. I played a rainbow striped zebra named Stripes.
Obviously.
Yes.
Kind of
and then
racist if you ask me.
I was also double cast as a dancing banana
Definitely
in
racist.
Act 2.
That sounds awesome.
But I remember that. I remember that play. And ever since then, it was like that's all I ever wanted to do.
Could you give us a little bit of that dancing banana?
I think there was a lot of this going on.
Ooh,
It's very Egyptian.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
Egyptian banana.
I had a big, banana.
nice.
Yeah.
So ever since that moment, you just knew this.
Ever
was
since
it.
that banana dance, I was like, you know what?
This is for me.
This is me. I am this. Yeah, it
So
was
you-
that.
So since you said your parents weren't very emotional, how did they handle them? You telling them, "Hey, I really want to be an actress."
Oh, they were
and,
very,
like, what
very
was,
against it until I had moved to London and was making it as an actor, and I was married.
What did they want you to do?
Lawyer or doctor by far.
Right.
Chinese mom.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you are lawyer or doctor. Just make a lot of money.
You Asian, not Bijan.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Like with
Only
grades.
I don't know
A's.
what that
Yeah.
means.
I cheated on my SAT
Just a
actually.
meme.
What?
Did you really? How'd you
I
cheat?
did. It's so funny. I'm like, at the time, that Perfect Score movie came out. Like everyone was like, "How do you cheat on your SATs?"
Yeah.
This is so
You
bad.
look at the person next
So
to you.
you sign up online to take your SAT at a random
Testing facility.
Exactly.
Right.
So you have someone else who possibly has a gift that they can take standardized tests. Right. I dated a guy in college.
You pay a
who-
smart person.
You
Yeah.
ever seen the show Suits?
Yeah. Do they do that?
Yeah. We have the main guy. He can take any bar.
Exactly.
Any.
So you pay that person to sign up because you can take the SAT even if you're 45 and graduated college. You can still sign up and go take it. And then whenever you sit down with the paperwork, you just write that person's information, and then he writes your information.
Oh, he just wrote your name.
And,
Oh,
he,
yeah.
and he fails.
Took the test for you.
Yeah.
You're still going in, so they can prove you were there.
Yeah.
Nice.
I went in and I just drew like penises on mine.
How much did that cost?
$45.
Whoa.
That's
No,
all.
no,
how
no,
much
no.
did he charge you?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't charge me nothing.
Oh,
That's what I
what?
was asking.
Yeah. Come on.
He didn't charge you anything?
Nah.
He,
Why
he
would
did
he,
it for
why
fun.
would he waste 3 hours of his life?
Because you
Ooh.
We were dating at the time.
I
and
see.
you married this guy.
I did not marry this guy. I think this guy's in jail now.
After that, he went to London.
I think he's in prison.
You actually ratted on him.
No, never.
Oh,
What
I'm
were
just
you
kidding.
talking about?
Just kidding. You said he was in jail, and I just
Yeah, not for that.
put the pieces
I
together.
actually did something similar to that, but I did it for a drug test. I wasn't going to pass a drug test for a job, so I had one of my best friends back home get a fake ID with my name and his photo, and he went and did the drug test for me.
Yeah.
What drugs
It's so
were-
crazy.
What were you taking?
At the time, it was just weed, but
That's legal
Still, at the time, it wasn't. It was like, you're not going to get hired, buddy. So
You're like, watch me.
good story. So that's pretty cool. I never thought about that. See, I would put a mirror on the ground and put the answers up here. And I
Oh.
would just look at the mirror.
And nobody would see the
Oh.
mirror.
No, dude. It wouldn't.
Did you go to
My
college?
backpack would be there.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And
So
is that degree
the-
still good now that they know you cheated to get in?
Yeah, it's
Well,
statute of limitation.
basically, I wonder if that's still the case. That's a really good question.
It's 9 years for grand theft, so I don't know how this
Who
works.
knows? I might be screwed. So I took it. My goal was I went to a Harvard prep school, and my goal was to get into Harvard. So that's why I needed something higher than a 1280, which is what I got
For
on my own.
theater?
My dad was thinking, okay, you can do theater, but then you could also do law.
Isn't
at the
Yale
same time.
more of the acting school? Yale drama?
I don't know.
They're all
Yeah,
top 10.
At the time, I mean, I wasn't going to go to college. My plan wasn't going to go to college. My plan was to move to Hollywood and become a famous actress,
Nice.
right? But my parents were like, you are going to college. So I went to the Harvard prep school. I graduated high school early at 16 and was supposed to go straight to this Harvard place. But when I went to the prep school, I made no friends. I had a really rough, social, emotional time. And so I told my parents, no, I'm not going there. I'm not going to college. And so my dad was like, yes, you are. You're going to go to the school that I went to. And you didn't need to get a high SAT score to get in. I don't even think they needed my SAT scores. And so I went to school in Oklahoma where my family lived and hung out with my grandma and did a lot of drugs and partied hard and,
Yeah. Grandma.
with grandma.
Nice.
Bless your soul, grandma. So the path was a little bit different. I graduated college with a degree in theater. I didn't know what I was doing. I left Shawnee, Oklahoma, moved back to Austin, Texas, and worked in a haunted house, which was kind of the bloom of everything. I found a job that I enjoyed. I didn't give a shit about what people thought I did. If it was a successful job, I made good money. I made enough to pay my rent.
At a haunted house?
Mm-hmm.
So you jumped out and scared people.
Yes, but I was working as a set painter and as a prosthetics, makeup, right? And I learned all that through them. They trained me. And then on top of that, during the season, I would act and I would do a lot of managerial stuff. So through that experience, that's what got me into interactive. But alongside, right when I graduated college, I was doing like personal nurse assistance. I was taking care of a 94-year-old man named Dr. John in his house from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. You know what I mean? Wiping his butt. There was a whole bunch of different random jobs that I did afterwards, and I had no idea. College degree didn't really do anything for me. And it wasn't until I decided to move across the world and just like take risks and do things that those things became my resume.
Did it not even give you any connections? It's like the people you graduated with that were in theater that also went off.
Not where I went. I think that's the key to going to a bigger school that has a big theater program or a big blank.
That's
is
the
that,
connections.
Yeah, is
Right.
that afterwards, there's a whole bunch of people in LA that they're USC grads or whatever. They have that community. They're still all working at their dreams. And I didn't know that when I was younger. When I was younger, it was just like, I can't see the people that are going to continue to be working on their dreams. I don't see that. Yeah. So it was really weird. And I don't have any of that OBU community, but I still have friends. They're just not doing the same thing.
I'll do something else.
Event planners or
Right.
mothers of 4.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Which is a huge job.
Bigger than acting.
Huge. Yeah.
So when you move to London,
I want a baby.
I'm sure it'll happen soon. Right? Right?
I want
We
one.
can admit 9 months at the earliest.
We'll draw straws.
That's great.
No,
That's great.
let's bring it back to today. So we got the Golden Globes coming out. Like, give us the hot takes on your movie picks.
Oh.
I don't even know who's nominated.
Biggest-
Yo, I am the worst.
You haven't seen anything, huh?
I've seen some things. I don't know what's nominated and what's not nominated. I don't know.
Or what movies have you liked
Yeah.
that you remember in this last?
Joker.
Loved it.
Great.
Come on.
Yeah, that was good.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
I agree.
What else is there? I want to see Honey Boy. I haven't seen it yet.
Haven't seen that one either.
Once Upon a Time in
I
Hollywood.
just saw Uncut. Oh God. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was beautiful.
I agree.
Beautiful.
Killed it.
A lot of people say it was garbage.
Well, they probably didn't know. I can
Even
understand.
people in the industry.
I don't
have
think
heard
they
it.
said
No.
garbage. They just said didn't meet their expectations.
My cousin said it was garbage.
Is
and
he in the
worked-
industry?
Yeah. he
Film
works with Robert
aside,
Rodriguez.
the story, it's an alternate universe, right? It's a multi-universe story about the Sharon Tate murder. And without those two guys' story, right, Brad and Leo's story, Sharon would have died, right? Like she did.
Right.
But in this alternate universe, that guy, they could have not been friends. If they were not friends and Brad Pitt didn't go back over to the house and hang out, and Leo was in the back with the headphones on, he would have died, Sharon would have died. But because their friendship was so strong, even after he fired him, Brad Pitt still said, yeah, I'll come over and have a beer with you like I normally would. I'm not letting my routine get affected because I'm butthurt about you firing me.
So what you're saying is don't have a routine.
He goes back to his routine. He has the beer with his friend.
He breaks his routine because he smokes the acid cig.
Hey, spoiler alert, by the way.
A little trash.
Sorry, guys. Okay, but the routine changes. Nonetheless, he still goes home and he hangs out with Leo, even though Leo just fired him and you think you're going to, screw that guy. You're not going to go hang out with him now. He goes over there and that's what makes it to where Sharon doesn't die. That's
I loved
such
it.
a cool story.
I thought it was a good movie.
But
loved
if you didn't like some of the action sequences or the acting,
I
that's
think people didn't
personal.
like it because it wasn't as plot driven as
It's
a
a
lot
day
of
in the life.
It was
Right.
more like a Jackie Brown, like just hanging out, and less like Pulp Fiction, where another
Yeah.
movie where they're doing a specific thing.
Do you think if Tarantino wasn't connected to it, it would have had the same success?
It's
No.
impossible to say.
Yeah, it's
It would-
impossible to
What
say.
if it was like a new
Tarantino.
director that had the same movie?
Uncut Gems.
Loved
I
it.
like that movie.
Loved it.
I loved it. You didn't like it?
I did not want to be yelled at by Adam Sandler for 3 hours.
Have you seen any
Well,
of his
that's-
movies? I mean,
But if
But
you've
that's
seen-
the
ball, get in the hole, ball.
Right? I guess it's funny when you're yelling, but when you're angry and yelling, you can't sit through it the same way you sit through a comedy. So I went with a friend to the film and she has high anxiety.
Oh, yeah. That's
And
not
she had to leave the theater.
because people are talking over each other the whole time.
Well, I like
it.
that.
Goes really
Right?
fast.
Because it's so visceral, so real.
Yeah.
It takes you
So
there,
seedy,
right? So
right
I
at the
think the
beginning.
film was a good film because it did its own purpose. But for some people, it won't be good, and that's just
Right.
going to be the case, right? For me, I would not see it again, but I really appreciated all the work that went into it.
Have you seen Good Time?
No,
Robert
it's my
Pattinson?
next one.
The same director.
I know, but I'm excited.
And that movie's the same.
Good
Is
time.
it?
Well, it's not
Adam Sandler.
It's not. It's still. It's like that same dark world that moves really fast, but there's definitely not like that high, like, oh, we're talking really over each other, but it still moves very quickly.
What do you feel like was the whole point? Like, what was the
Of Uncut Gem?
Yeah.
What was the point?
I didn't see it.
Don't gamble. The point was...
No spoilers, please.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't want to ruin.
okay. Never mind. That's a new one. Yeah.
Oh,
Never mind.
Thank you.
Cue fire alarm.
Guys, you listen.
Ambulance.
but I thought Kevin Garnett killed
He was
it
good.
acting-wise.
Oh yeah, actually you're right.
Playing
yeah.
himself.
Yeah,
He was pretty good.
I agree.
Any other movies you saw?
No, I want to see Klaus.
I haven't heard of that. Oh,
It's
the
an
animated
animated,
movie.
yeah.
That's right.
It's about Santa.
Santa Claus.
Santa Klaus.
Sounds Swedish.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Do you have any questions for us before we do the
The
plugs?
No, we
next
don't.
hour, it's going to be...
I don't know.
There's no questions.
Do you guys want to like have a post podcast discussion on the podcast?
We usually do that after the podcast.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Post. Right.
But
Right. Oh, you want to be included? No.
Fiona was just suggesting it seems like we're doing that now.
Oh no.
I got
All right, let's get to plugs.
So how did this thing go? Actually, did it go well?
I loved it.
Fiona,
Yeah.
people want to take your class. They want to buy your book. Let our audience know where they can find you.
Oh, bless you. Hi. You can Google Fiona Rene, Instagram at Fiona Rene, Facebook Fiona Rene. Everything's Fiona Rene. I only really touch Instagram and email. So if you go to my website, fionarene.com, you can send me an email, and that's probably the best way.
And you'll respond, everyone, if they're nice?
Emails always, but it will take me some time, but emails always.
What kind of email? Like just fan emails? Like, hey, I loved you in this.
Usually it's not a fan email that's sent.
Well, from our fan base.
Oh, yeah. I'll probably send you a thumbs up.
There we go.
We once had a guy give out his Venmo on the podcast, and somebody sent him $1. Did you want to?
Or a Cash App.
At Fiona Rene.
All right.
Everything is at Fiona Rene.
All right.
One E at the end.
All right.
We love it.
Cool.
Anyway, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me talk through my life. I feel like I learned so many more things about myself by talking it out loud.
Please come back again for the new season of Stumptown, the next season,
Right.
and tell us all
Yes. I'm so excited. I hope season 2 kicks off.
And bring your boy Mike.
Yeah, you want
What's his
Mike
name?
Ely on this one?
I don't know. What's his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah, I don't know, but
Michael
I know him
Ealy.
by face.
Or Colby Smulders. You're going to work with her soon, right?
Yes, I have a scene with her next.
Hopefully she's cool.
She's amazing.
Oh, okay, great. So you already met her then?
Yeah, I met her on set. She's
Okay,
like
awesome.
Ask about
one of
Taram.
the
She
coolest
seems like she'd be
persons I've
cool.
ever met.
Ask her about Taram Killam.
Her husband?
Yeah.
Single parents? Is that his show?
SNL's his show.
Oh.
Is what I know him from.
Was his show.
Yes.
My
But yes,
bad.
but he has
yeah,
a show.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I was half just kidding because that's.
All right.
But if you ask,
Actually, did you work on an episode where there was a male stripper?
you'll have to narrow that down.
I can't remember if that was work or play.
No.
Ew.
Stumptown.
I don't think so.
Okay, just curious.
all right. Well, great pod.
Oh, bless you guys. Thank you.
All right, it was
I had a
good.
blast. I loved it.